those vegan guys. Thank you.
Hello my loves, forewarned is forearmed. This is not one of our usual vlogs, obviously nothing to do with the allotment or vegan cooking or recipes or shopping or anything. It is just a little opinion piece on what happened at the Oscars between Will Smith and Chris Rock, which I've watched on television this morning. And for those of you that aren't aware, Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith's wife, is sporting a stunning look at the moment, which I believe is linked to so I've read, and this may be incorrect, but it may be linked to alopecia. So she's sporting a bald look. She looks incredible. She looks amazing. And Chris Rock made this joke. He's Chris Rock, let's not forget, about how much he was looking forward to seeing her in the next G.I. Jane.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one, okay.
Which was of course originally played by Demi Moore, also a stunning woman sporting a bald-headed look, or you know, extremely short hair right down to the nug, as we might say. Was the joke appropriate? I'm not Jada Pinkett Smith. I didn't see any harm in it because I'm very aware of what Chris Rock is like as a comedian and the places he goes to with his comedy. And from what you can see on camera, you know, Will actually laughs a little bit at that joke until he sees his wife's face and how upset she is about it. And then he walks up on stage and he physically hits Chris Rock right across the face, and then he goes and sits back down with a real look of achievement on his face at first and shouts, "Leave my wife's name out your effing mouth," twice.
I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay? Okay. That was a greatest night in the history of television. Okay.
On international television. Was his response appropriate? Now, I'm coming from a very particular angle here. I love Will Smith. He's one of my favourite actors. I've never seen a bad Will Smith film yet. As someone in the kind of, you know, entertainment field myself, I'm a huge admirer of his work. But I think he was completely wrong for doing that. As many people have said, you want to do something like that, leave it for backstage. Don't do it at all. I don't believe that it requires any kind of physical response. Now, he could have made that a real comedy moment, Will Smith. He could have made that a real comedy moment. I'm going to get to... I'm not justifying what he did. I'm going to get to one of the reasons I think he might have been there in that place that led to him doing that in a moment. But first, he could have walked up to Chris Rock in one of his previous characters, even, you know, And he could have put his arm around him and said, come with me, and walked over to Jada and looked at him and just said, apologise. And that would have been funny. That would have been funny. And it would have also made the point, what you said was inappropriate, it's upset my wife, please apologise. But he didn't. He chose to walk up there and physically strike somebody for the words that had come out of their mouth. And I don't know that words should ever lead to violence or ever justify violence. Got to tell you this, by the way. I'm having another Burden blend. This one is more GT. These were given to me by the lovely Alex at our meet-up on Saturday night when we all met at Lily's in Ashton and had an incredible meal. If you haven't seen that vlog, by the way, it was only a very short live, but it might be worth a watch. I'll link it up there. Something to say about Ukraine and Russia and all at the end of this. But yeah, so I felt the need to talk about this. I was like, oh Will, what have you done, man? Why would you do that? Why would you respond that way? Now here's part of the reason I think he responded that way. Doesn't justify it though. And he alluded to it in his acceptance speech, because of course he went on to win best, you know, he went on to win an Oscar. And he said that this character, because he's played like the father, hasn't he, of the tennis stars, Serena and name here, because I forgot it. I'm not a tennis fan at all. And he kind of alluded to the fact that he'd played this character and that he had protected core character and he had protected core character. And you know, now when Will Smith gets into a role, he really gets into a role. He's always done that. And method acting can be really difficult sometimes, because you do get yourself to play the character that you're being asked to play. You have to mentally get yourself into that space. Much like when you want to be a better version of yourself, you have to get into that space and, you know, how would the better version of me deal with this situation? Because maybe that's the way I should deal with it. So yeah, I'm shocked by it. Is it a major thing in the world? But it kind of is. I mean, the Oscars are watched all over the world, and Will Smith just helped the justification that black people are violent. Because if he can do that, what about the guy on the street? What about the guy in the hood? Do you get what? It's just like, it harkens me back to Julian Clary and his big red box remarks at an awards ceremony many years ago, which some say kind of crippled his career, because he was playing to stereotypes, but it was a little bit too far. It was kind of inappropriate for, you know, prime time TV. Hitting someone in the face because they've said something you don't like is kind of inappropriate for prime time international TV. I mean, I know he apologised to the Academy at the end, but I think he owes an apology to Chris Rock. You don't have a right to strike someone in the face because they've said something you don't like, because you can always turn around and walk away. That's always an option. Always. And you don't have the right to physically put your hands on somebody and hurt them. You do not have the right to do that. and with the climate of the world right now, what a terrible thing to happen to what a terrible thing to be shown to the world. There's already a huge thing happening where a male feels he has the right to do this thing, and I'm not comparing, I'm just saying, do you know what I mean? Because of its brevity of exposure, not measuring them as events, but their exposure in the world, the number of eyes seeing that this has happened. So yeah, like, just wow. Really disappointed. I don't think this is one of those situations where I'm going to be like, I'll never watch Will Smith again. But I'm really disappointed in what he's done, like, massively. And I think it carries a lot more weight than anyone's acknowledging just yet. Speaking of which, as alluded to at the beginning, I had something to say about Russia and Ukraine. For those of you that don't have an understanding of what Putin has been using as justification for this war on Ukraine, fantastic little segment by the BBC, which outlines perfectly the reality of the prevalence of Nazism in Ukraine and the reality of the size of its prevalence in Ukraine from way back when to now. And I watched it this morning. I just thought it was very well done. I like this newsreader though, plus it's kind of cute. But the actual concise nature of it and the way that it outlines everything is really good. Anyway, I'll link that up there too. So what do you think about what's gone on with Will Smith? I may have included clips if I could get hold of any. If I haven't, maybe I'll just kind of link something down there in the first comment, or maybe I'll do that anyway, that you can actually see what happened yourself. And I'd love to know your opinion of it. Are you like me? Do you think that was completely unjustified, that nobody has a right to physically hit another person because of words that they've said that you found offensive? I mean, my God, if that was okay, can't even tell you the amount of tuffles I'd have gotten in my life from people calling me bent bastard and you queer and stuff like that, because it's happened many times. Would that give me the right to hit them? No, not really. No. So yeah, let's continue the conversation down there. Let me know what you think. How do you feel about this? Is Will Smith an actor that you admire? How do you feel about what he did? No matter your feelings about Chris Rock, because I've read a lot of people saying, oh, he had it coming, Chris Rock. Really? We're justifying violence now, are we? Well, I suppose I should try this, shouldn't I? So this is Moji tea. It sounds gorgeous. A super refreshing blend of green tea, peppermint and lime. Lovely. Very light. Very refreshing. Exactly what it says on the packet. Lovely. Right, I'll get off because I've waffled. I'm sorry. But this is one of those things that's happened in the world, that's been seen by the world, that I'm just like, oh, wow, we've got to talk about this. That's like, as much as people try to play it down, yes, of course there are bigger things going on in the world. Of course there are. And we need to be fully aware of them. But this internationally televised incident will feed right into the terrifying beliefs of some of the darker side of society, the kind of underground, hate-filled, people. It'll play right into it. That's anyway. Right, get off. Allotment vlog later on. Like I said, this was just a throwaway one. But thanks for watching it anyway. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Till then, please be excellent to yourselves and each other. Bye, loves.